She laughed when the cops dragged me out in cuffs. In front of our house. In front of the neighbors. In front of her lover. No hesitation. No flicker of guilt. Just a smug smirk on that cold, painted face. I told you, honey, she called after me, sipping from a wine glass in nothing but a robe. You should have treated me better. The flashing red and blue lights bounced off her silhouette like she was some kind of queen. But I wasn't looking at her. I was staring at the man behind her, Ryan Mitchell. He didn't even try to hide. Shirtless, arms crossed, and smug as hell. The guy I used to coach back in high school. A nobody. Now he was standing in my house, next to my wife, wearing my cologne. That was the last thing I saw before they slammed the cruiser door shut. And I swore that night, in that freezing county cell with vomit on the bench and piss on the floor, that if she wanted to turn this into war, I'd show her a war she wouldn't survive. You want to know how I got locked up? Let's rewind 3 days. It was a Tuesday night. Normal, at least on the surface. I came home from work early, around 5:30. I wanted to surprise her with reservations at this new rooftop sushi place she kept tagging on Instagram. When I walked in, the air felt off. Not like danger. Not like drama. Just off. The way the air feels before a thunderstorm, too still, too quiet. She wasn't downstairs. No music playing, which was strange. She always had something on, Megan Thee Stallion or SZA or whatever angsty stuff made her feel like a goddess. But not that night. I called her name. Rachel? Nothing. The bedroom door was cracked open. I pushed it slowly, and that's when I saw her reflection in the mirror. She was wearing something I hadn't seen before. Black lace. Short. Tight. Nothing modest about it. The kind of thing you wear when you don't expect your husband home. She was facing the mirror, applying lipstick, pouting and posing like she was shooting an OnlyFans ad. My stomach dropped. She hadn't looked that good for me in 2 years. Not since the miscarriage. Big night? I asked, casually. She flinched, but only for a second. Then turned around, smiling. Oh, babe. You scared me. It's just girls' night. Girls' night in lingerie? She laughed. Laughed. You're so dramatic, Matt. It's just a trend. We dress hot, take pics, and drink wine. You wouldn't understand. I didn't argue. I didn't push. I just nodded and handed her the dinner reservation card. She didn't even read it. Just tossed it on the dresser like trash. Maybe another time, okay? Another time. Right. I walked out, heart thudding, ears ringing. That was when it started to click, how distant she'd been. The late nights. The locked phone. The sudden gym obsession. The extra showers. The attitude. But that night, I didn't say a word. I waited. Sat in my car around the corner with the engine off. At 7:14 p.m., I saw her get picked up. Not an Uber. Not a female friend. It was Ryan. 24. Personal trainer. Drives a Dodge Charger like he's Vin Diesel. And from the way she leaned into his window, yeah, this wasn't Pilates class. I followed them. Watched them check into a hotel I couldn't afford on my best day. Waited outside for hours. And when they came out, all giddy and clinging to each other like teenagers, I snapped. I followed him home. Punched him in the face as soon as he stepped out of the car. One punch. Just one. He fell. Hit the pavement. Blood everywhere. Then the screaming. The phone call. The sirens. Rachel told the cops I was stalking them. That I'd threatened her. That I'd been unstable for months. She said it so smoothly, so convincingly, I half believed it myself. The cuffs went on. No trial. No questions. Just cold steel and that damn smirk on her face. And you know what? That was her mistake. Because she forgot one thing. I had something planned. Something that would arrive in a neat little gift box on her birthday, signed from jail. And when she opened it, she screamed so loud, they say the whole street heard. The box was simple, nothing flashy. Just a matte black cube with a silver ribbon and a card that read, "To Rachel, with all my love. M." She opened it in the kitchen. I know because the neighbor told me later. Said she was sipping champagne and laughing with her sister when it arrived by courier. Said she rolled her eyes when she read the card. Said she called me a pathetic little man before pulling the ribbon off like she was unwrapping a birthday handbag. But inside wasn't jewelry. No perfume. No apology. Just a single USB drive and a folded note. The note read, "Play it loud." The USB? That was the masterpiece. Months before, I'd installed hidden cameras in the guest bedroom. The one she thought was safe. The one where she'd bring him when she didn't want to risk hotel receipts. She didn't know I kept copies synced to a cloud. The video I chose was short. 2 minutes. Just enough. It showed her, Rachel, wearing the same lingerie I saw in the mirror, on top of Ryan, saying things I can't even repeat. The worst part? She wasn't just cheating, she was laughing at me while doing it, mocking my name, calling me boring, useless. Then she got up, still out of breath, and said, "I swear, if he ever finds out, I'll just cry and say he hit me. He'll believe it. He always does." Cut to black. That was it. 2 minutes. Just enough to turn the neighborhood upside down. Her sister screamed first. Then Rachel dropped the wine glass. Shattered. Then came the silence. Thick, choking silence. She ran to unplug the laptop, but it was too late. I'd also sent the video link to 12 other people. Her parents. Her best friend. The principal at the school where she taught. HR at her job. And my lawyer. She didn't know that part yet. When I got my one phone call from jail, I didn't call a lawyer. I called my cousin Derek. Ex-military. Knows his way around tech. Told him where to find the files. Told him who to send them to. Told him to wait until her birthday. The fallout was glorious. Rachel tried to go to work the next day. They told her not to bother. She called her mom, who blocked her. Ryan? He ghosted. Packed up and ran the moment the video hit. She called me 3 days later. Begged to talk. Asked how I could be so cruel. I just listened. Let her words hang in the air. "You lied," I said, finally. "And then you used the cops to put me in a cell so you could keep playing house with your boy toy." "It wasn't like that," she said, voice cracking. "You were distant. We weren't intimate anymore. I didn't feel loved." "You mean I didn't praise you enough for existing?" "Got it. You don't understand what it's like to feel alone in a marriage. And you don't understand what it's like to get a mugshot because the woman you love decided to lie under oath." Silence. "Matt." "I'm sorry. You're not. You're scared." Then I hung up. I'm still fighting the charges. Still got the stain on my record. But every time I see her name pop up in some scandal thread online, or someone sends me a screenshot of her crying on TikTok, claiming she was set up by a narcissist, I smile. Because she gave me war. And I made sure she never forgot the battlefield. A week passed. Then another. Rachel went quiet. No calls. No texts. No pity party posts. Just silence. Until I got a letter. No envelope. Just a single folded sheet of lined paper stuffed into my inmate mailbox. The handwriting? Hers. Big, round letters, like a child's. I could almost hear her fake sweet voice in every sentence. "I know you think I'm the villain, but I wasn't trying to hurt you. I was lost. And Ryan, he just made me feel seen. It was never supposed to go that far. You scared me that night. I panicked. I said things I shouldn't have." She actually underlined "shouldn't have," like it was some kind of redemption. "I want to fix this. Maybe we can talk when you're out. If you want. Please don't hate me forever." I didn't respond. But I reread that letter maybe 20 times. Not because I believed a word of it, but because I needed to remember what manipulation looked like in handwriting. She didn't want to fix anything. She wanted control back. Her name was burning online. People had started commenting under her old photos. "Aren't you the one who got your husband locked up?" And "Queen of Betrayal." A parenting blog that had once featured her for balancing teaching and marriage had scrubbed her article. I heard she even tried to get a job at a different school district. They told her flat out no. Her world was shrinking. Mine was opening. My public defender? Replaced by a real attorney, paid for by the GoFundMe Derek set up once the video got out. Turned out people really hate cheaters. Especially the kind who weaponize the law. The judge saw the footage. Didn't say a word for a full 2 minutes. Then asked, quietly, did she really say she'd lie? My lawyer nodded. He dismissed the restraining order on the spot. The assault charge? Dropped pending investigation. And I walked out of that courthouse with a sealed record and the kind of satisfaction that doesn't need a parade. I didn't go home. That house was tainted. I stayed with Derek. Started hitting the gym again. Slept like a damn baby for the first time in months. But Rachel? She tried to get ahead of the storm. Made a video. Sat in her living room with a blanket over her lap and mascara running like war paint. Said she was a victim of psychological manipulation and that she was lured into an emotional affair during a vulnerable time. She turned off comments, but not before a few thousand people called her out. One woman even made a reaction video and titled it, "This is why nobody believes you." Rachel disappeared after that. Deleted her Instagram. Shut down her Facebook. Her phone number? Disconnected. And then, just when I thought it was over, she showed up at Derek's door. I was in the kitchen, frying eggs. Heard the knock. Heard Derek open it. Then silence. Then her voice. Is Matt here? She sounded small. I stepped into the hallway. Looked her dead in the eye. She wasn't wearing makeup. Her hair was up in a messy bun. Hoodie. Sweatpants. Nothing like the queen she used to play. She looked like she hadn't slept in a week. Maybe more. I just need 5 minutes, she whispered. Please. I didn't say yes. I didn't say no. I just stared. Then I stepped aside. She walked in. And I knew this was the real confrontation. She sat on the couch like it still belonged to her. Like she hadn't shattered everything and salted the ground. I didn't sit. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, watching her squirm. I'm not here to fight, she said, eyes darting around, avoiding mine. I've lost everything, Matt. I stayed silent. Let her keep digging. My job's gone. My parents won't even answer my calls. Ryan ghosted me. Everyone thinks I'm a monster. I raised an eyebrow. And she looked up, finally meeting my gaze. Her eyes were glassy, but dry. I knew that trick. It was the performance of someone who wants to cry but can't force it out. I made mistakes. I laughed. Actually laughed. Mistakes. Her lip trembled, and this time it wasn't an act. I didn't mean for you to get arrested. I panicked. When you hit Ryan out. One punch. After I watched him crawl out of my marriage like a damn cockroach. I know. Do you? I stepped forward, lowering my voice. Do you know what it's like to sit in a freezing cell for 3 nights because the woman you married looked a cop in the eye and lied through her perfect little teeth? I thought you'd hit him again, she whispered. I thought it'd look better if I said something before it escalated. So you preemptively set fire to my life? She looked like she wanted to disappear into the couch. I messed up, she muttered. No, Rachel. You chose. You chose to sneak around. You chose to lie. And when your fantasy world started to crack, you threw me under the bus and watched it roll over my spine. Silence. I'm not here to beg, she finally said. I just wanted you to see me. Not the girl from the video. Not the monster people call me online. Just me. You showed me who you were, I said. I just finally believed it. Her mouth opened, then closed. She stood slowly, eyes still on the ground. I guess this is goodbye then, she said. I guess it is. She walked to the door, hand on the knob. Then she paused. I kept the ring, she said, almost in a whisper. I still wear it sometimes. When no one's around. Why? Because it was the only thing that ever felt real. And then she left. Door closed. Silence again. I didn't cry. Didn't feel relief either. Just still. Rachel had shown up to reclaim some kind of closure. But she didn't get it. She wanted me to say I forgave her. Maybe even admit I missed her. But I didn't give her that. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't rage. It's watching someone realize they can't crawl back into the life they destroyed. And that you're finally fine without them. 2 days later, I got a voicemail. From a number I didn't recognize. It was her voice. I know I shouldn't have come. I keep thinking about everything. About who we were. Before I ruined it. I keep waking up at 3 a.m., reaching for you like I used to. And then remembering why you're not there. You hate me. I get it. I probably hate me too. But I wanted you to know something. The ring? I buried it. In the backyard. Right where we had our stupid little fire pit. Thought you'd like the poetry of that. Anyway, this is probably the last time you'll hear from me. So take care of yourself, Matt. I mean that. She hung up. I deleted the message without saving it. I didn't need closure. I had it the moment she walked out and didn't slam the door. The thing about betrayal is it doesn't come with a clean cut. It's jagged. It tears. You keep thinking about the before, as if remembering can undo the after. But it doesn't. Derek and I were back at the gym. Routine helped. We lifted, boxed, ran stairs until my lungs screamed. I stopped checking social media. Didn't need to see who had tagged me or what dumb podcast was using my story as clickbait. But the world didn't let me disappear quietly. One morning, a thick envelope arrived. No return address. I opened it and felt my chest go tight. Inside were photos. Rachel, bruised, crying, standing outside what looked like a gas station, talking to a cop. Another photo, her car, windshield shattered. Then a typed letter. No name, just a message. You should know. Ryan wasn't done with her. He came back, took her phone, trashed her place, said she owed him for everything she cost him. She told him you sent the video. He believed it, said he'd make her pay. And he did. I didn't know who sent it. Maybe her sister. Maybe the cop. Maybe Rachel herself, trying to guilt me anonymously. But I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel anything. That's what surprised me. I thought maybe I'd feel satisfied, like justice was some kind of mathematical equation. But all I felt was distance, like this had happened in another lifetime. I didn't respond, didn't investigate, didn't call anyone. I just went to the backyard that evening, stood by the old fire pit, looked down at the patch of dirt where she said she buried the ring. I thought about digging it up, thought about tossing it in a lake or selling it for gas money or smashing it with a hammer. But I didn't. Instead, I turned around, walked inside, and booked a flight. I didn't know where I was going yet. I just knew it had to be somewhere else, somewhere far from ghosts and lace and lies and high heels. I'd let Rachel haunt her own ashes. I was done. The flight was to Denver. I'd never been. Didn't know a soul there. That was the point. 2 suitcases, no plan, and a prepaid Airbnb for 2 weeks. It was cold when I landed. Snow still crusted along the sidewalks, the air sharp enough to burn. It felt clean, like the kind of cold that cuts away everything soft and rotten. I walked the city every day for hours, coffee in hand, hoodie up, just moving, not thinking, letting my mind go quiet for the first time in what felt like years. On the 5th day, I wandered into this little bar near Capitol Hill. Darkwood, cheap whiskey, no music. Just the sound of low conversation and glasses clinking. I sat at the bar, ordered a drink, and kept my eyes on the glass. Rough day? The bartender asked. Rough here. He nodded. Didn't press. Just topped off the glass. There was something comforting about the anonymity. Nobody knew me here. Nobody looked at me like the guy whose wife made him a national meme. I stayed for hours. When I left, it was snowing again. I didn't rush. Let it fall on my face, melt into my hoodie. Back at the Airbnb, I finally opened my laptop. Inbox, 73 unread. A few from lawyers. A few from Rachel's old friends. One from a podcast producer asking if I'd do a guest episode. I deleted it, but one email stopped me cold. Subject line, package delivered. No sender name, just a message. She screamed for 20 seconds straight, then threw up. You timed it perfectly. It arrived on her birthday at 10:04 a.m., just like you asked. The neighbors heard everything. I stared at the screen for a long time. I hadn't expected confirmation. Had almost forgotten I scheduled the delivery months ago. The USB, the note, the card, the timing, all of it, down to the second. I should have felt triumphant. But instead, I just closed the laptop and leaned back in the chair, exhaling like I just dropped the weight of an entire life. Revenge had already played out. It was over. But this quiet? This city where nobody knew my name? This felt like the beginning. The past was ashes. But now I had space to build. And I would. Starting with nothing. On purpose. 3 months passed. I found a small apartment above a bookstore. It smelled like paper and pine cleaner, and the pipes groaned when you showered too long. But it was mine. The lease had my name on it, only mine. I got a job doing logistics for a small supply company. Nothing flashy. No suits. No boardroom drama. Just honest work, a steady paycheck, and nobody asking me about my past. I cut my hair short, grew a beard, changed my number, deleted every account tied to the old me. And then, one night in late spring, I got a letter. Not an email, not a DM, a real envelope. No return address. Inside was a single photo. Rachel, standing on a courthouse step, holding a small box. A divorce packet. Filed. Signed. Finalized. There was no note. No apology. No goodbye. Just her in the frame, staring off at something I couldn't see, her expression unreadable. I stared at it for a minute, then burned it in the sink. Watched the paper curl and blacken, the edges glowing orange. And I felt nothing. Not rage. Not sorrow. Nothing. That's when I knew I was free. Because pain fades. But detachment, that's the real finish line. I didn't need answers. Didn't want closure. She'd taken my trust, my peace, my freedom, and I had rebuilt all of it from the ground up, without her. The world, for once, was quiet. And if someone asked me now what I learned from all this, I'd tell them this. Don't ignore your instincts. Don't give someone a second chance when they use the first to bury a knife in your spine. And when you get locked in the dark, don't scream. Build. Wait. And when the door opens, walk out without looking back. Because some people only learn what they lost after it's already ashes in the wind. And that's not your burden anymore. It's theirs. Forever. A year later, I stood on a cliffside trail in Estes Park, The wind slicing through the pines, mountains like sleeping giants on the horizon. The sun was setting behind them, spilling fire across the sky. I didn't think about her anymore. Not really. Sometimes her name would flicker in my memory like a glitch, Rachel, but it didn't hurt. It didn't stir anything. Just a fact, like an old scar that doesn't ache in the cold. The man I used to be, the one who bent over backwards, who excused the lies, who let love blind him, he died in that jail cell. The version of me that came out was colder, smarter, and most importantly, free. People think revenge is loud, explosive, fireworks and blood. It's not. Real revenge is quiet. It's walking away with your head high while they choke on the ruins they created. It's becoming everything they said you'd never be without them. I never sent another gift. Never made another move. She was already living in the fallout. Alone. Jobless. Forgotten. And me? I was alive. No chains. No ghosts. Just the wind in my lungs, the road ahead, and the knowledge that I had burned my past to keep my future warm. The real ending isn't rage. It's peace. And that's the part they never recover from.